What is up, guys? So today I want to make a video on the Logitech MX Keys Mini. As you can see in the title of the video, I really like this keyboard, and we'll talk about it in just a sec. I've been using this keyboard for about 3 to 4 months now, and well, I wanted to share what I think about it. As you guys may know, Logitech has their own minimalistic / professional design, or at least in their MX line they do, which of course doesn't appeal to RGB fans nor anyone in the gamer aggressive aesthetic crowd. This keyboard isn't for everyone, as this is more of my personal opinion. I really appreciate the low travel chiclet style keys for longer typing sessions and everyday use, as I feel mechanicals are a bit too deep of a press per key. That is probably because I grew up with a MacBook as my first computer, which may have led to me having a bias towards chiclet keyboards, and that isn't necessarily a negative, as what I like is what I like, and what you like is what you like. So there shouldn't be any debates about this. Now, funnily enough, I did buy a mechanical keyboard not too long ago, and I will be making a video on it and sharing my thoughts of what I think about it. Now, as you can see, this keyboard is of the smaller form factor of keyboards, as it does not have the numpad, nor does it have the home, insert, or separate arrow keys, which a full-size keyboard has. I personally do prefer this style of keyboard just because I can center it with my monitor and it is all nicely centered. That is, of course, once again, my personal opinion. It is similar to a laptop keyboard in size, which I do appreciate, as I have been using laptops for most of my life, and I am definitely very used to it. Now, next up, I wanted to talk about the somewhat highlight feature of this keyboard, which are these 3 keys up here, which are labeled 1, 2, 3, which are also the function 1, 2, and 3 keys. Now, with these keys, you can pair up to 3 devices simultaneously, let's say. What this means is that you can switch between devices easily by just pressing the key. Now, these 3 keys are very useful for multiple device setups, as it helps you quickly switch in between them without needing to unplug and replug a USB port. Of course, to use this feature, it connects through Bluetooth to each device. And then one last thing I wanted to quickly mention is in the function row. So of course you have your standards like escape and the 3 connect keys that I talked about. And then you have brightness up and down. You have a dictation button. You have an emoji button, which I've rarely ever used. Screenshot button, mic turn off, and then pause and play button, and then volume up and downs and mute, and well, the delete key. Now, these keys are supposed to be selected for the most commonly used things. However, I do enjoy some of them. For example, the mic mute, the screenshot is really good. After that, you don't really use the others as often, but it's nice to have them, that's for sure. Another neat function of the keyboard is that when it is on, so the power switch is up here on the top right, as well as the USB-C port. You can see a green light here when it turns on. Now then, one neat thing about this keyboard is that when it's been inactive for a certain amount of time, the lights will dim down. That every keyboard does it, of course, or almost any keyboard. What not all keyboards do is that when you approach your hand to it, the lights will turn on. You don't have to press a button, as you usually do with most keyboards, to wake them up. And now I'll show this one more time. So, not touching it, and the light has turned on. So this is useful in the dark in case you don't want to go to your control key, which is what I usually press with other keyboards to wake them up for the lights. In this case, all you have to do is get your hands close and then they'll light up and you can see all the keys. Now then, when talking about battery life, as you can probably tell, the LEDs aren't the brightest, but they're definitely bright enough for most cases, and I have no issues with the LEDs. As far as battery goes, well, you can see here on the back that it has a fairly chunky bit hanging out of it, which is where the battery is. And well, I can say it without even looking at the battery size or milliamp hour measurement of the battery, that this is an insanely good battery. As with most Logitech products that I've owned, you can pretty much forget about the battery, forget about charging it. Charge it maybe once a week if you want to, but it will not die on you in that week. I've pretty much charged this keyboard once since I've had it, and as I mentioned, I've had it for about 3 or 4 months. It's just a really good battery. I don't know exactly how they do it, but it works really great. Charges through USB Type-C, so they use the correct connector, and it works out extremely good for my use case. Now, let's quickly talk about price. With all the features in mind, and being it a really good Bluetooth keyboard, it is worth the price, in my opinion. I just really love the functions that it comes with. The application is another plus. Logitech Options, you can configure pretty much any of your function keys. I left them as default, as I really do appreciate having the correct logo signify what the button does, but you can exchange that if you want. And $100, I feel, is worth the price for sure. Now, I did want to talk a little bit about a few problems I had with this keyboard, which is a very important part of the video and something I believe you should consider when buying this keyboard. So the main issue I had with this keyboard is that it does not come with a 2.4 gigahertz USB receiver. So for example, with the full-size version of this keyboard, it will come with a unifying receiver, which looks like this. And well, you just plug this into your computer or device you want to connect it with, and will have a much shorter delay, making it almost like a wired keyboard. Now, this keyboard does not come with that. So it is pretty much an exclusively Bluetooth keyboard, unless you buy a Logitech Bolt receiver, which is this receiver right here. It is pretty much the same. The only difference physically is the logo, which you can see right there is a yellow Thunderbolt. And for the unifying receiver, it is that logo right there. So there isn't much of a difference physically. The difference is more in security-wise. It is supposed to be that the Bolt receiver is harder to intercept the signals between the keyboard and the receiver, which gives it more of a business kind of appeal. For more personal use, it isn't really that important. The issue here is that this receiver is bought separately, sold separately. It does not come with this keyboard, which was annoying at the beginning. But then I was also going to buy the MX Master 3, which I have over here. And I will be making a video about this next. So when I was going to buy this MX Master, I was curious if the normal version was compatible with the Bolt receiver, to only have one receiver for both devices. Unfortunately, the normal version is not compatible with the Bolt receiver, which is a bit silly to me in my opinion if they're going to be released at almost the same time. However, there is a version of this mouse, the MX Master 3, which is made for business users. Now, this business version is a bit harder to find. I found it in Staples, and I was able to buy it there. And the business version does come with the Bolt receiver, which means that the mouse came with the receiver I needed to be able to connect both devices using one single receiver. And that was good in my case, as I wanted to buy both of them. However, you can also buy the receiver separately for, I believe it's $15. I'll be showing a screenshot of the price right now. It can be a minor inconvenience, but if you want the least amount of delay possible, unfortunately that is a cost you will have to take in mind. If you're used to Bluetooth keyboards and it being a little bit delayed and it doesn't bother you, then this is no issue for you and you don't really have to think about it. In conclusion, I want to say that for me specifically, this is probably the best keyboard I could buy for casual use. And in the chiclet keyboard area, it is one of the best, if not the best. I personally can type faster on chiclet keyboards than I can on mechanicals, as I've been used to it for a very long time. And the quick switch between devices is very useful when you have a multiple device setup or just quickly want to type out a message on your phone or tablet. You can quickly switch between them and type it out and then switch quickly back to your computer, which makes it much easier to use. And the last pro I really want to appreciate is the charging or the battery life itself, as you really don't have to remember to charge this keyboard. Like once in a while, you'll see the orange light, just plug it in for a few hours, and then it'll be fully charged and you can just forget about it for a month or more, which makes it just really comfortable to use and makes it just awesome all around. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, and if you want to watch more videos similar to this one, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, that way you don't miss out on any videos I post. Thank you guys very much for watching. Have a great day.